Oseo,
Oseo.
or in the Celtic fashion, namaste. Going on with this Lunasa, it's evident that the Celtic culture, the ancient Celtic culture, has been throughout the America very anciently and for a very long time. What became of it? I don't know, anybody knows. There has been a book, Celtic America, which does a very good job of showing a lot of the evidence here. I am aware of some of the evidence and I present it here that way. And one place is in Eastern California, the area called Owens Valley. Was once this place of a great lake, now being called Owens Lake, or in it's actually a Welsh name, Owens Loch, meaning White Lake. Its ancient name was Loch on Cloud na Yearskilhoch, meaning Lake of the Mouth of the Dragon. And perhaps because the southern portion of the valley is very evident that there has been in ancient times a lot of volcanic activity. So that may have spawned such a name as that. On the eastern side of the lake, about 3/4 of the way up, it's a north-south lake. There's a site, it's called Swansea. This is another Welsh name. Actually, it's a place in southern Wales on the coast, and it really fits in with the theme here. It's a large marble bluff. Below it is an ancient Pleistocene beach. And in this marble bluff, it is dedicated to Lugh. And the marble bluff, I mean the marble rock as it is, has kind of a gray surface on it. So if you just scratch through the surface, it comes through white. So it's very, very apt, for making carvings and images on there. There wasn't anything there that was, in violation of the sacredness of the place. One of the things that I have brought here to show what's here, this is a Greek zodiac that's there. And it shows, here's the sun, and the sun, and here's Aries, and here's Taurus, and this is Cancer and Gemini together, and this is Leo, and this is Virgo, and this is Scorpio, and Libra. This is a bow for Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and whatever this mysterious is, again, into January. Above the petroglyph, then again, this is neatly put on the rock there. There is an Arabic inscription that Arabic-speaking people can read it. It says, when the sun enters the house of the ram, this is the spring equinox. So that's just to show one of the things that is there. There is an engraving on the side of a rock of Lugh, but it's far too faint for me to make a replica of it. But below that, a rock emerging out of the ground is very clear. In Ogham, it says Lugh. That's the LG for Lugh. So there's many things there that has all of this. A lot of it is definitely Arabic. So very interesting. And that's the site of this event that's happening here. This image here that I have on the bellstone of Lugh is not situated there. It's situated in alignment due south into Petroglyph Canyon east of Ridgecrest. And it's twice the size of my image here, high up on the rock. Kathleen Hartshorn recognized it on her own when we were on tour there. And it's definitely of Lugh, and that is Lugh Lavfara, meaning Lugh of the long arm and the silver hand. And it's up high in that there's a parallel vertical rock with a big hole in it that would look like you could look through it and ostensibly see the moon. So that's what's going on here for this event. Down here, I have a white stone here, and this is Luria. Luria stands for the seed of unknown or forgotten knowledge, I should say, the seed of forgotten knowledge, which also figures in this. And this here, this is the swan of Apollo. And like I said, the swan, the moon, Lug, Apollo, these all go together. And this E here, this is on the gateway to his temple in Delphi. It would be the prana, or stands for the divine breath. And that's why I'm having that all here. In old days, long before the Knights of Chivalry, it was the female, the woman, who attracted the male, who did the wooing. And so that's what we have in this case. We're at the site of Swansea, north of the lake there, and the moon is coming up. And Lug, as a person, is being attracted by her as the light in the moon. And this was to be the way that she would be described in ancient time. She has a lot of different names, you know. Narwin, meaning white mist, Olwyn, woman of the white track, Coyote means both moon, changed back for moon, and swan. She was clothed in a robe of flame-colored silk, and about her neck a collar of ruddy gold. More yellow was her head than the flower of the broom, and her skin was whiter than the foam of the wave. And fairer were her hands and fingers than the blossoms of the wood anemone amidst the spray of the meadow fountain. The eye of the hawk, the glance of the falcon, wasn't brighter than hers. Her bosom was more snowy than the breast of the white swan, her cheek a rose red. Whoso beheld her was filled with her love. This would give you the idea that that's a standard, I didn't make it, of the way that she was attracting Luke. And from that, she is the light in the moon, not the stone thing, the moon. She disengages from the moon and she comes down on a moonbeam as a swan across the lake, like a pathway across the lake to Swansea, to where Lug receives her. In some versions, he then becomes a swan together with her, and they both submerge into the lake. And that is the site, Swansea, that has embodied this ancient myth. And now, once again, we have Mary Oliver. She never fails us. The swan. Across the wide waters, something comes floating, a slim and delicate ship filled with white flowers, and as it moves on its miraculous muscles, as though time did not exist, as though bringing such gifts to the dry shore was a happiness almost beyond bearing. And now it turns its dark eyes. It rearranges the clouds of its wings. It trails an elaborate webbed foot, the color of charcoal. Soon it will be here. Oh, what shall I do when that poppy-colored beak rests in my hand, said Mrs. Blake of the poet. I miss my husband's company. He is so often in paradise. Of course, the path to heaven doesn't lie down in flat miles. It is in the imagination with which you perceive this world, and the gestures with which you honor it. Oh, what will I do? What will I say when those white wings touch this shore?